is Tyler Davis with Cross Country Mortgage here in Fort Wayne, your local lender, back with another edition of Physically Fit. This time I want to talk about something that it's a myth that has been out there for forever. So I think as a society, we are trained that we need to eat less, work out more in order to lose weight. Well, what I want to talk to you about is the fact that majority of time when I start working with clients, a lot of people, I would say half of the people that probably struggle with weight loss and things like that are not eating enough. You're not eating enough calories per day. So there is this super scientific term called basal metabolic rate. What's that mean? If you want the scientific term, you can ask Siri or Alexa. But basically what it means is how many calories your body needs per day to survive. Basic survival, so breathing, pumping blood, thinking, bodily functions, digestion, all that stuff. There's a specific amount that your body needs just to survive. So let's break this down. Why is that? Our bodies still think that we are wired the same from caveman days. So back then, what we had to do was we would go out and hunt for our food, which would expend calories. We would get the food, and then we would intake a surplus and store that all as fat, whether it's to get through the winter or it's to get through 2 days before we eat again. Whatever it was, that's how our body's designed. It's how it's wired. What happens when we don't eat enough calories? So if we don't give our body at least enough calories to hit that basal metabolic rate, or that baseline amount of calories so that it knows it's gonna survive, what it's gonna do is it's gonna take everything you eat and store it as energy, which that is what fat is. Adipose tissue is just stored energy. So basically that is your body just doing what it's designed to do, ensure you survive. Let's say your basal metabolic rate is 1,700 calories, whether you're a man or a woman. And let's say you're only taking in 1,400 calories a day. And let's say on top of that, you're doing, let's just say a moderate workout where you're burning 300 calories a day. So your body needs 1,700. And in this example, if you're taking in 1,400, burning 300, you are left with a net caloric intake of 1,100 calories. Your body is not going to release the extra energy. It's not going to let go of fat because it thinks it needs everything. It thinks it has to hang on to everything just to survive. This leads me to another analogy that I want to talk about, which is you training your metabolism to always be burning. So not only do you do that by figuring out what your basal metabolic rate is, which can be done by taking an in-body test at a local nutrition store. If you're here in Fort Wayne, go to Triumph Fitness. But what that will do is tell you what that rate is. So once you know that number, you know how much your body needs, and you can break things down from there. What you can do is you can train your metabolism to always be burning the calories that you are taking in. So what I want you to think about is a campfire. So when you go camping, the goal is to create a fire, and then once you get that fire going, the objective is to keep it burning, keep it going, and you do that by consistently feeding it clean fuel sources. So that means every 2 to 4 hours, you're putting some logs on the fire. You're keeping it going, you're stoking it. That way the fire's staying consistent. That way if you're trying to make them s'mores, it's gonna be ready to go. Or just to keep you warm at night. So what I want you to think about with your metabolism is every 2 to 4 hours, you should be giving it a clean source of fuel. So you're gonna need to know what that is. That's why for me, I eat 6 to 7 times a day. Every few hours, I'm giving my body energy. That way it knows, hey, this 300 to 600 calories I just got at this meal or snack, I'm gonna burn through this. I'm gonna use what I need, because I know in another 4 hours or less, I'm gonna get another set of calories. So eventually your metabolism can be trained. With the campfire analogy, sugar, simple sugars like candy, soda, things like that, that's like throwing paper in the fire. It's gonna burn really hot, really fast, and then it's gonna go out. Just like what that does to your body. It's gonna spike your insulin, and you're gonna have the sugar crash. We've all heard about that. The other thing you're gonna think about is, let's say you go on a hiking trip for 6 hours, 7 hours. You come back, the fire is almost out. And then you go get an armful of logs and dump it on the fire, it's gonna go out because you just smothered it. So a lot of people will skip breakfast, which the word itself, break fast, that's why it's so essential. People will skip breakfast and then eat a big meal at lunch, or maybe even not till dinner. That's the same thing. Your metabolism doesn't know what to do. So it basically just takes it and is like, oh hell, I'm gonna save all this and we're gonna reset and try again tomorrow. But then we do that day after day, and your body is just in a state of constant chaos. You can train your metabolism to always be efficient and always be burning the calories. But again, clean fuel source, no paper in the fire, don't let it smolder, and don't dump a bunch of food or logs on the fire and put it out. Stoke the fire, keep it burning. What I want you to think about is breaking the myth. I think as a society, we have been trained that we need to work out more, eat less. That's how we lose weight. If you have a surplus of weight to lose, there's a good chance that that will work in the beginning, but that will not sustain, because eventually your body will plateau and it will go into survival mode. I know this because I did it myself. In my over 100-pound weight loss, I got stuck around 185-ish. Wasn't until I started eating 300 more calories that things started moving again, but it takes time, trial and error. You got to figure out what's right for your body. That's why I suggest you go find that InBody. Speak to a nutrition coach or a local health food shop that has an InBody machine that can give you this data that you're going to need to know what your basal metabolic rate is, and go from there. It's a shift in the mindset. Eat to live, not live to eat. And I think a lot of times we have the wrong mindset about it. So whether you are vegan, doing intermittent fasting, if that works for you, amazing. There are benefits to everything. But it's about you. Me, I'm a flexitarian. I'm flexible. 90% of the time, I'm eating clean. 10% of the time, life happens. Kids want to go out to eat. I'm a splurge. That's all right, because I know the next day I'm going to be back at it. But the big thing is, I don't ever skip my meals and snacks. Protein bar while I'm on the go. Protein shake while I'm on the go. You do what you got to do. You figure out what works for you and your schedule. But the big thing is, don't starve yourself and get frustrated while you're not losing weight, or gaining muscle, or whatever the health goal is. So to wrap it up, I just want you to think about that campfire. Always think back up to that campfire. When you go camping, you want to get the fire burning, you want to keep it burning nice and hot. That's your metabolism. You need to find out what your basal metabolic rate is. That way you know how many baseline calories you need just to survive, just to get through the day, just to be you. People get hangry, right? Well, that's because they're not following all this stuff that we're talking about right here. So you figure out what works for you. That's the way you keep showing up. So remember, don't live to eat, eat to live. This is Tyler Davis, Cross Country Mortgage, your local lender here in Fort Wayne, signing out from another week of Physically Fit.
As much as I make my physical fitness a daily priority, I prioritize the health and wellness of my clients and agent partners' mortgage lending experience. I'm always prepared for my next opportunity to help. If you ever want to learn more, I'm here as a resource. You can call, text, or email. And when you're ready to get started, I can be found at loanswithtyler.com.